한때 전 세계를 뒤흔든 두 명의 스포츠 슈퍼스타가 있었습니다. 어린 시절부터 남다른 재능을 보이며 모두를 놀라게 했고 성공은 그들에게 마치 운명처럼 보였죠. 그러나 지금 그들은 정반대의 삶을 살고 있습니다. 한 사람은 모든 걸 잃었고 나락으로 떨어졌어요. 전성기 시절 누구도 넘볼 수 없는 압도적인 존재였지만 지금은 과거의 영광만 남아있을 뿐이죠. 반면 또 다른 한 사람은 여전히 최정상에 서 있습니다. 시간이 흘러도 나이가 들어도 그는 여전히 최고로 불리며 모든 후배들의 롤모델이 되고 있죠. 사실 임팩트로만 보면 현재 나락으로 간 슈퍼스타가 여전히 최고의 자리를 유지하고 있는 슈퍼스타보다 훨씬 강했는데도 말이에요. 이 두 명의 주인공, 한 명은 핵주먹 마이크 타이슨, 그리고 또 한 명은 축구 왕제 크리스티아노 호날두입니다. 대체 무엇이 이들의 운명을 이렇게 갈라놓았을까요? 노력? 자기관리? 이런 뻔한 이야기를 하려는 게 아니에요. 그것만으로는 설명이 부족합니다. 이 결정적인 차이를 도널드 트럼프의 연설에서 찾을 수 있습니다. 트럼프는 크게 성공하는 사람과 실패하는 사람의 결정적 차이를 단 한마디로 정리했죠. 그리고 놀랍게도 이것은 타고난 재능도 운도 아닙니다. 누구나 별 수 있는 거예요. 지금부터 트럼프의 연설 속에서 성공과 실패를 가르는 단 하나의 요소를 찾아보겠습니다.
In order to be successful, and you people are well on the road to success, you have to find out what makes you excited, what makes you want to get up each morning and go to work. You have to find it. If you love what you do and dedicate yourself to your work, then you will gain momentum. And look, you have to. You need the word momentum. You will gain that momentum. And each success will create another success. The word momentum. I'll tell you a story that's very interesting for me. When I was young, there was a man named William Levitt, and he was a very successful man, became unbelievable. He was a home builder, became an unbelievable success, and got more and more successful. And he'd build homes, and at night he'd go to these major sites with teams of people, and he'd scour the sites for nails and sawdust and small pieces of wood, and they'd clean the site so when the workers came in the next morning, the sites would be spotless and clean. And he did it properly. And he did this for 20 years, and then he was offered a lot of money for his company. And he sold his company for a tremendous amount of money. At the time especially, this is a long time ago, sold his company for a tremendous amount of money. And he went out and bought a big yacht. And he had a very interesting life. So he had a very, very interesting life. And the company that bought his company was a big conglomerate. And they didn't know anything about building homes, and they didn't know anything about picking up the nails and the sawdust and selling it and the scraps of wood. This was a big conglomerate based in New York City. And after about a 10-year period, they were losing a lot with it. It didn't mean anything to them, and they couldn't sell it. So they called William Levitt up, and they said, "Would you like to buy back your company?" And he said, "Yes, I would." He so badly wanted. He got bored with this life of yachts and sailing and all of the things he did in the south of France and other places. He bought back his company, and he bought back a lot of empty land, and he worked hard on getting it zoning, and he worked hard on starting to develop. And in the end, he failed, and he failed badly. Lost all of his money. He went personally bankrupt, and he was now much older. And I saw him at a cocktail party. And it was very sad because the hottest people in New York were at this party. It was the party of Steve Ross. Steve Ross, who was one of the great people, he came up and discovered, really founded Time Warner. And he was a great guy. He had a lot of successful people at the party. And I was doing well, so I got invited to the party. I was very young. And I go in, but I'm in the real estate business. And I see 100 people, some of whom I recognize, and they're big in the entertainment business. And I see, sitting in the corner, was a little old man who was all by himself. Nobody was talking to him. I immediately recognized that that man was the once great William Levitt of Levittown. And I immediately went over. I wanted to talk to him more than the Hollywood show business communications people. So I went over and talked to him. And I said, Mr. Levitt, I'm Donald Trump. He said, I know. Said, Mr. Levitt, how are you doing? He goes, not well at all. And I knew that, but he said, not well at all. And he explained what was happening and how bad it's been and how hard it's been. And I said, what exactly happened? Why did this happen to you? You're one of the greats ever in our industry. Why did this happen to you? And he said, Donald, I lost my momentum. I lost my momentum. A word you never hear when you're talking about success. When some of these guys that never made 10 cents, they're on television giving you things about how you're going to be successful. And the only thing they ever did was a book and a tape. But I'll tell you, it was very sad, and I never forgot that moment, and I thought about it. And it's exactly true. He lost his momentum, meaning he took this period of time off, long years, and then when he got back, he didn't have that same momentum. In life, I always tell this to people, you have to know whether or not you continue to have the momentum. And if you don't have it, that's okay. Because you're going to go on, and you're going to learn, and you're going to do things that are great. But you have to know about the word momentum. But the big thing, never quit, never give up, do something you love. But when you do something that you love, you'll never fail. What you're going to do is give it a shot again and again and again. You're ultimately going to be successful. And remember this, you're not working. Because when you're doing something that you love, like I do, but when you do something that you love, remember this, it's not work. So you'll work 24/7, you're going to work all the time, and at the end of a year, you're not really working. You don't think of it as work. When you're not doing something that you like, or when you're forced into do something that you really don't like, that's called work, and it's hard work and tedious work. So as much as you can, do something that you love, work hard, and never, ever give up, and you're going to be tremendously successful. Tremendously successful.
한때 저는 남들보다 빠르게 네이버 블로그 경제 비즈니스 분야 인플루언서가 되었습니다. 그 속도만큼이나 제 자부심도 엄청나게 컸어요. 사람들은 몇 년이 걸려도 이루기 어려운 걸 저는 단기간에 해냈으니 스스로가 남다른 사람이라고 착각했죠. 사실 성공의 기쁨보다 자만심이 그보다 더 컸던 것 같아요. 하지만 문제는 그 이유였습니다. 저는 블로그를 더 키우기보다는 더 돈이 되는 일을 찾아 이리저리 기웃거렸어요. 블로그를 운영하는 게 당장은 수익이 적어 시간 낭비처럼 느껴졌던 거죠. 더 좋은 기회가 어딘가에만 있을 것만 같아 새로운 SNS 플랫폼, 각종 온라인 비즈니스, 여러 가지를 건드렸지만 하나도 제대로 정착하지 못했습니다. 뭐든 금방 성과가 날 줄 알았는데 오히려 수많은 실패만 남았어요. 그 사이 저와 비슷한 시기에 경제 인플루언서가 되었던 사람들은 지금 꽤 많은 월 수입을 올리고 있더라고요. 초기엔 저보다 느릴 수도 있었겠지만 지금은 묵묵히 블로그를 운영한 결과 비교할 수 없을 만큼 저 멀리 가버렸습니다. 그들은 자신이 성공한 분야에서 모멘텀을 이어갔고 저는 그 모멘텀을 스스로 버렸던 결과죠. 다시 블로그를 시작하기로 결심했을 때 저는 예전처럼 빠르게 성과를 낼 수 있을 거라고 생각했습니다. 하지만 현실은 달랐어요. 이미 블로그 생태계는 변해 있었고 저를 기억해주는 사람들도 거의 없었고 알고리즘도 저를 잊었어요. 그제서야 저는 모멘텀의 중요성을 뼈저리게 깨달았습니다. 모멘텀을 놓치면 재시작이 어렵구나. 한번 멈춘 일을 다시 시작하는 것은 처음 시작하는 것보다 더 어렵다는 사실을 말이죠. 모멘텀을 유지하는 사람은 가속도를 타며 더 멀리 나아가지만 멈춰버린 사람은 다시 처음부터 기어를 올려야 합니다. 그리고 그 과정은 생각보다 훨씬 더디고 고통스러워요.